Joining me now here in Chicago is Democratic Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts. Congresswoman, so great to see you.
Good to be with you.
I want to ask you about those vibes that Anthony was just discussing. Last month, before current president, former nominee, Joe Biden dropped out, you said that Democrats who were pushing him to leave the race were losing the plot. How do you feel now?
Well, I'm grateful for this Harris-Walz ticket, which knows the plot, and the plot is the people. They are centering the people and their vision for a more just America that centers the humanity and the dignity of every person that calls this country home, which is in stark contrast to the Republicans and Project 2025 institutionalized Trumpism, which would cause harm to every person who calls this country home, dismantle the federal government and our democracy as we know it, and take us back. Whereas Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are about our freedoms and about the future.
What do you think about the future as Kamala Harris has laid it out so far, particularly when it comes to her economic proposals?
Again, she understands the plot, the people. And because she has her own lived experience that she brings to this, and because she has stayed proximate to people, traversing this country as the most effective champion for reproductive rights and abortion access and care, she understands that we have to be honest about the daily challenges and struggles of people and do everything to mitigate them. But she's also advancing policies that will meet people in their aspiration. So whether you're talking about down payment assistance for home ownership, whether you're talking about combating price gouging, understanding how that has increased the cost of groceries, whether you're talking about protections and thinking of our renters, as well. She is very focused, or a care economy, universal child care and paid leave. She is squarely focused on the struggles of everyday people, of every family model, of every person who calls this country home. But it's not only about their struggles, it's also about meeting their aspiration. As a surrogate for the Vice President, when I was in Pennsylvania, a very important battleground state, I was just so moved by the fact that particularly amongst 18 to 35-year-olds, a demographic that had been, well, there was really an enthusiasm gap. They keep using words like joyful, hopeful, how much they appreciate that Kamala is future-focused. So she is going to deeply resonate and allow us to build this broad and diverse winning coalition to deliver her to the Oval Office.
You're often referred to as one of the members of the squad. Another member of the squad, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, spoke last night. She got a big headlining role. Do you think that that is a reflection of the fact that you've been successful in some ways in pulling this party to the left and getting the party leaders to embrace more progressive positions?
Absolutely. I mean, what does it mean to be a progressive? To me, it means you're a disruptor of an unjust status quo, that you seek to advance policies that grow as broad and as deep as the hurt. And those policies are not only sorely needed and long overdue, they are wildly popular. You take an issue like student debt. This is an issue that I was a lead negotiator in the House on. We worked in coalition, many progressives, to push for action on that. That was an issue that people really didn't understand the face of it, that they questioned if such a policy would be progressive in impact. But now, working closely with the Biden-Harris administration, we see that many people, millions of borrowers have benefited from that targeted relief, and it's been really game-changing. Or if you talk about the child tax credit, or if you talk about the mainstream push now, and even from our president for court reform. These are things that progressives have been championed that are now a part of the mainstream policy and public discourse, because these policies are sorely needed and very popular.
And yet you've got two other squad members, big progressives, who were just pushed out in their primaries, Cori, Jamaal, Bowman. Are those outliers, or is that a sign that their districts weren't open to what they were pushing for?
Those outcomes are indicative of the Citizen United decision by the Supreme Court, and I could talk to you much longer about the ways in which this Supreme Court has been weaponized and caused harm. And it'll open the floodgates for this special interest dark money, which is really disenfranchising the electorate. So we have got to do something about this special interest dark money.
You're talking about these pro-Israel PACs that
I'm talking about dark money and special interest money, period. But certainly that did play a role in this race with Bowman and Cori. But these are two valued members of the Congressional Black Caucus as well. Jamaal, that I've worked very closely with on everything from equity in our education system to criminal legal reform to reproductive freedom to environmental justice. Their mark has certainly been made in Congress, and I have no doubt that they'll continue to do that work, even though they will be doing it in a different way, form, and fashion.
Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, thanks so much for joining me this evening. Have a great convention.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.